Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, we already know that 50 Cent dropped a documentary on Diddy. The Reckoning is killing them. Got like 50 million views in a couple of hours is what the unverified sources say. But check it out. I watched this joint and all I want to know is why would 50 Cent drop this documentary on December 2nd, right before Christmas, when P. Diddy is expecting and hoping and praying for the president, Donald Trump, to pardon him? And then 50 dropped this at this time. Put it in the comments. Why do you think 50 dropped this documentary at this time? Do you think he's right for doing it because they're having competitive energy, AKA war, to get into the bag, to be the king of the rappers, from rappers to, multi-billionaire? All right, let's keep it moving. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. Check it out. This how we gonna do it. I can't understand for the life of me how y'all can't understand that what is going on right now with P. Diddy and 50 Cent is way outside of your pay grade, my pay grade, and all of us that's trying to cover this. Because what is going on is you have these two titans that's at the top of the game, the top of their totem pole, and they're battling for who's going to be number one. So this is no different than a war to the top to get the bag. Do you believe that anything goes in war, especially a war to get the bag? I tried to look at it. A lot of things 50 did I didn't like. A lot of things he did that I didn't like. But this joint here, him dropping this documentary, first I tried to put it in that category, like 50, was telling. I'm going to get right to the point, right? But in this documentary, this is not about telling because I watched majority of it. I kind of skimmed through it because the whole documentary, was old news that they just recreated and then took what they call B-rolls from the footage that P. Diddy was paying a cameraman to walk around and document his trauma and stress of what he was dealing with at that time with the countdown to the RICO. So that's what was happening with that. Diddy allegedly had a contract with the man, didn't pay the man for it. So being that he didn't pay him, the man felt it was his, and he took it and he went to 50 Cent. 50 Cent trying to get to the top. He trying to get the bag. So 50 Cent grabs that footage. He takes the old interviews and go back and talk to the same people to say the same thing that we already know, because there was nothing new in the documentary that I saw, that I interpreted. So if I misinterpreted and is this something that you want to point out that I should have seen, put it in the comments. But from what I saw, it was a bunch of old gossipy news that they were saying. And yes, I'm going to say gossipy. And the reason why I'm saying gossipy is because I have a right to say that, because none of that gossip was allowed in the federal court. They call that hearsay. Hearsay is another word for rumors. You see how we ride? Don't say you don't get to ride over here, Unique Mecca Audio. I'm giving you all the tutorial right now. 50 Cent and P. Diddy is on another level and they're at war. We hear war down here at our level and we think of gunshots taking somebody's life. That's what we think when we hear war. They in a war to the bag. And as they in that war to the bag, 50 Cent just grabbed a good bag with 50 million streams in a few hours on Netflix by just airing, you know, old gossip, right? Not saying that they're lies, but to me, it's considered gossip. To me, it's considered gossip because the feds didn't even believe it enough to put it in court to bring him down. Because if the feds had all of these, you know, stories that was told in this reckoning documentary and chose not to use it, that means that it wasn't worth crap. That it was no different than an a-hole. Everybody got one, just like an opinion, just like I got one. You probably think I'm one, pause. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it moving. So what I'm saying is people is trying to justify and understand, well, why 50 do that? 50 ratting, 50 this, 50 that. No, 50 is just in, let me play a video and I'm gonna let him tell you in his own words, and this gonna break down what's going on because I wanna just change it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So let's bring him in.
A new Netflix docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest. Now, Combs is threatening legal action against the streamer for airing the unauthorized footage. Behind the series is Combs' longtime rap rival 50 Cent and director Alexandria Stapleton, who sat down with NBC News' Chloe Malas ahead of tonight's release.
Hey, yo, how long or how many times do you think that commentator practiced in order to say 50 Cent? You know what I mean? He's trying to be so hip. So, you know, how long you think it took him to practice to get that right, 50 Cent? You know what I mean? When the last time anybody said 50 Cent? When the last time anybody said 50? But you see how they're exploiting the culture, just making it look so like, oh, you know, they're down? Put it in the comments if you think that, you know, I'm right or wrong for what I'm saying, you know, or you agree or disagree.
Tonight, Netflix releasing never-before-seen video. Sean Diddy Combs filmed just days before his arrest on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering in 2024. The footage is part of a 4-part docuseries, Sean Combs The Reckoning, premiering Tuesday. Behind the explosive documentary is Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alexandria Stapleton.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
The recording.
Hey, yo, look how 50's sitting up like a proud father. He just know he got him. Watch this, right?
Give viewers an intimate look at Combs' mindset ahead of his criminal trial, even conversations with his legal team.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt, you know.
Look at his face.
When this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps.
What was he intending to use it for?
I have no idea.
I mean, you know, you're talking about a man who films himself doing everything and has for decades. I think he wanted someone to be behind the scenes with him.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News today, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix. Netflix referring NBC News to a statement from Stapleton in which she said they lawfully obtained the footage. After a nearly 8-week trial, Combs was acquitted of the more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering and sentenced to 50 months in federal prison for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs' team going on to slam Netflix for partnering with 50 Cent, who they say has been his longtime public adversary, something the Grammy winner denied, citing his own casting choices in his popular Stars franchise, Power.
One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Check this out.
The things that you post on Instagram,
Yeah,
because
but
of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other.
All right, pause. See, you got to agree with 50 Cent on that because you saw when Meech jumped ship and went with Rick Ross, how 50 exiled Meech's son. So if he hated Diddy that much, why would he exile Meech's son and then work with Diddy's sons, but he hate Diddy. Somebody put that in the comments. Somebody explain that to me. Let's see what's going on. All right, what we doing? All right, we riding.
So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what he's saying right there. That is nothing more than competitive energy. Competitive energy is the same thing. Let me ride and give you one. My competitive energy back in the day was I'm sitting on 8th Avenue, right? In front of Blimpie. You know, I got the white Jeep Wrangler out there. It's summertime, you know. 4-inch lift kit, Mickey Thompson tires, crazy Alpine stereo, roll bar, the interior black and white. I'm looking like $1 million on 8th Avenue. And then here come Kevin Childs cruising up. Kevin Childs pull up in a candy apple red 190 Mercedes-Benz with Palomino interior with red piping around the seats and the headrest. And then he had gold hammers, you know, on it with the Mercedes-Benz, gold rims with the Mercedes-Benz joint, and he got gold trim going around it with a gold grill. I'm not even gonna show you the car. I'm just gonna paint you the picture because I know you like when I take you there, right? So check it out. And then it was a convertible. He dropped the top because they didn't even make convertible 190s at that time. Kevin Childs sent that 190 hardtop out to California, the only place they did in the United States at the time, and got the whole top cut off the car and then shipped back over after he did all that, you know, gadgery with it. And he pulled up while I'm out there. I got the block shut down. I got the Jeep Wrangler. I got on the big straw hat with the corn pipe. I'm smoking my weed in a corn pipe, and I'm on 8th Avenue, and I got on no shirt with a bunch of big Gucci chains on my neck, and everybody loving me. They giving me a crazy round of applause. All right, relax. Let me finish. Come on, could I finish? All right, so check it out, right? Remember, we talking about competitive energy. So I got the joint shut down, and Kevin Childs pulls up. Shut the block down. Everybody ran from looking at me standing on the top of the, you know, the what they call that, the stop sign, you know, with the little stop sign thing with the man at, you know, when you do the pull-ups at. You know, we do the pull-ups. I'm over there doing pull-ups. I'm carrying on, and Kevin Childs pull up. And everybody turned their attention to Kevin Childs. Shut the show down, got me sitting there looking crazy. I said, oh, this mother effer here. You know? I said, it's war. All guns out. But it was competitive energy. Our competitive energy is, I went and got me a red BMW, right? I took it up to Angelo in the Bronx, right? I got the Testarossa wide body kit, you know, that I ordered to put on it with the fish gills in the side. The front rims was 13 inches deep. That's how deep dish BBS is. Each rim cost me like $8,000. The back rim was 15 inches deep. You could put 2 of your foot inside of one of my back rims. And it was all chrome with the white centerpiece to match the car. Then I got the car done, you know, in a pearl, you know, white with emerald green flakes in it. So when the moonlight or sunlight hit the paint, y'all remember that paint? I got that paint from down in Miami. Round of applause to Miami. You know, that's like that bowling ball. You know what I mean? Relax, man, relax, because I'm chilling right now. Because just like, how many of y'all know what the bowling ball paint is? Y'all tell me how many of y'all know what that, you know, bowling ball, you know, the flip-flop. I learned all that down there. Put in the comments what a bowling ball color paint job is. But, you know, that's when that song I saw when I was locked up came out, the candy apple this with the, you know, like my man said, yo, you know, I like cars like you know, the color of my, like my Skittles. You know, I like cars like the color of my Skittles. So I had the car white with the emerald green flakes in it, with the Testarossa body kit, right? With the fish scales coming down the side, look like scratches going down the side from the door to the back fender that blows out. You know what I mean? Like 20 inches wide on each side. I mean, it's crazy. But I got that. Then the inside, what we call the guts, I did that white with emerald green piping and emerald green in a headrest with white piping around the emerald green headrest. And then I had the white steering wheel with the Benetton logo for the centerpiece where the BMW logo will go. Crushed them. I get a round of applause. I get a round of applause. Relax, relax, relax. Relax, relax. Relax. It took 18 months for me to get that car built. So Kevin Childs had the title, the crown for 18 months, but we had friendly competition. So I just shook Kevin's hand and said, man, that joint fire. You got this summer, son. You know what I mean? And then next thing I know, I had to go in the lab and build me one. I missed the next summer and caught the spring of the next year. That's how long it took to build this, but that was our competitive energy. And that's what 50 Cent is saying that he's going through with Diddy right now for y'all to understand what's going on. I did that, my competitive energy, fight, war, whatever you want to call it, was done on me and Kevin's level that a lot of y'all don't understand. And 50 Cent and Diddy, they're having their fight on a level that we don't understand. We don't understand it. So we're not in a position to judge either party on the methods that they choose to engage in their war with. Because I don't like 99% of the stuff that 50 Cent do. I'm going to keep it 100. But after watching this Good Morning America joint where he said it's nothing but competitive energy, now I understand. Of course, everybody's saying, oh, Diddy dogged out and smutted out his baby mother. Comment. Put in the comments. Why wasn't her name mentioned in the documentary? Just a question that I want to know. Why you think that? And she was the baddest one that testified. The rest of them was old washed up hags. You know what I mean? That was mad that they bagged her, ran out. They trying to get a new bag. You get what you signed up for, man. I got what I signed up for when I got 26 years in federal prison and sentenced to life plus 20. I didn't go crying and saying I want to do over and try and make things up. I just took the fight with the tools that was allowed in the courthouse to fight with. And I had to learn those rules. So we have to learn the rules that 50 Cent and Diddy is using to fight in a competitive war when you're racing or already at billionaire status. Could you understand what I'm saying? Put in the comments if you do, and let me know if you agree or disagree. Because what I'm saying is, I can't sit here, can't speak for nobody else. I can't sit here and judge 50's actions on dropping that documentary. Of course, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of innuendo, and it leave a lot of, innuendo, as I said, as far as could it be because 50 smutted out his baby mother? Or could it be because, like 50 Cent has publicly been saying, 50 offered to take him shopping? But somebody offered to take you shopping, or you feel somebody tried to make a play on you, do you go to war with them for 5 years? So I don't believe that crap, 50. But when you said that it's competitive energy, now I understand. Because now you're in charge of that because you're fighting from a level up here. People don't understand that everybody feel they got the right now to judge Diddy. Everybody finally gets something to do that they normally wouldn't get to do. They get to judge P. Diddy. I watched that documentary. When I watched the documentary, I'm going to do a whole thing. If y'all want me to do something on it, I'll do something on that Netflix documentary. But when I watched the documentary, what I saw was a man that was not living in this universe. I saw a man that some may even equivalent to an alien. I say that because when you have a $68 million yacht that could sell anywhere in the world, even back to where slavery began. He could spend the rest of his life backtracking how we got to where we are right now. But this man got a $68 million yacht. He got another $100 million private plane. You understand? And he got all the money in the world, got all the homes in the world, could buy a home, anything he want, anywhere he wants, and don't even have to lift a finger. All he got to do is say, Siri, buy that house in Saint Tropez, that I was looking at. That easy. When a man is living on that level where he could do things like that, he's not of this world, man. In this world, we all have to, whether we want to or not, in some form or fashion, we have to budget our finances. This man don't have to budget anything. If he thinks of something, he can get it, and it won't even make a dent. He's living in another world. When I see him moving around, and I just see the energy, what he's capable of, he's not in our world. Y'all don't understand that. So you can't judge him. He got all the money in the world, and from that money, it attracts people from our world and below. And they go and try and enter into this fast-paced universe that these individual moguls have created, including 50 Cent. When you cross into that, all right, like 50 Cent, right, let's ride. 50 Cent baby mother, Daphne Joy, she crossed into 50 Cent's universe, which she knew nothing about and we know nothing about. In 50 Cent's universe, he controls it. He a smooth, laid-back dude. So when he got with her, he let her know what he wanted and expected from her. She heard him, she agreed, but she wasn't of that universe and didn't have the honor and the morals and principles to stand on what she agreed with, because I know 50 had to lay down some type of law, what he expected from his woman to then baby mother. So now she agrees to that, and as he's blowing up, she's seeing more. She's experienced to more people by being around them, meeting, getting people phone numbers, whether it's male or female. Ain't got to be no sexual or none of that. But now she's elevating and she's seeing more and she wants more. So now she feels like she deserves more. She feels like 50 owes her more. 50 said, nah, court said give you this, give you that. She knows how to get her money with what she has. So 50 is not giving her the money. I think they said he was giving her $3,500 a month, allegedly, whatever. So now she wanted more than that, so she gets with Diddy, who says, look, all right, he only giving you that. I'm going to put you a $10,000 condo a month. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but you got to do this, you got to do that. And she agreed to do that. 50 didn't know that she would stoop that low to do that. So now he finds that out, and that's the mother of his child, and he loves his son, beautiful young man, beautiful kid, but he loves his son. So therefore, every time he sees his son, he has to see her and remember what his competitive rivalry have done to him. But 50 has the voice now because he's out here and Diddy's on the inside. What do you think Diddy's gonna say or do when he come out or react about what 50's doing right now? And I'm not talking about violently. I'm saying if they at the VMAs together, if they run into each other somewhere else, could you imagine how awkward that's gonna be and how much that photograph or video is gonna be worth when 50 Cent and P. Diddy get in the same room in another 18 months to a year? You see where I'm at with this? Right now, it's a saying like, how they say, the rabbit got the gun? Well, 50 Cent is the rabbit with the gun now. Now, Diddy's gonna have to come out and get his the same way, because pay attention to my rides. The same way it took me 18 months to build that BMW wide body, and it was an M3, to go up against Kevin Childs 190 drop top, red with the Palomino, red and Palomino piping going on the seats with the gold hammers and the gold grill and the gold trimming, you know? It took me 18 months to get my get back. And I was cool with that. But now, what would Diddy's get back look like in 18 months when Diddy's out? Do you think Diddy would rise back to the top? Or do you think Diddy's just going to be where he at? You think Diddy's going to rise or he going to fall or he going to stay where he at? Because he got enough money to just say, man, I'm done. Does anybody think Diddy will even just say, yeah, I'm done? Somebody put it in the comments, man. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in hall. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block. Did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio.